Cheat code. Support strategist. By Clouds. Man in the Clouds not coming down on AO3. Chapter 86. Identity. Ochako paced back and forth across the street of the fake city. Why didn't he tell me? I don't know. Hitoshi shrugged, sympathetically. Maybe he forgot? Forgot about long life enemies, Hitoshi? Ochako huffed. No, he just didn't want to tell me. I mean, he told me he had enemies, but he's the number one hero, so of course he does. But someone who has killed, or at least brutally injured, pretty much every single holder of One for All? That seems like something he should have mentioned before I agreed to this quirk. Right? Hitoshi rubbed his temples. I agree completely. Ochako stopped. Are you okay? I'm fine. Hitoshi did not look fine. It's just that remaining half control is a little more taxing than full control, and I've had Kurogiri under for a while. I'm so sorry, Ochako grasped. We can deal with All for One later. What else do we need from this guy? I'm not sure, Hitoshi said. I can just order him to sleep, but okay, so he said that all of the quirks that made Warpgate were stolen, didn't he? Yeah, Ochako nodded. Why? Well, I'm just wondering. Hitoshi turned to Kurogiri. Tell me if you choose to work for All for One. No, Kurogiri said blankly. Then tell me why you work for him. Hitoshi insisted. Kurogiri seemed to fight the brainwashing for a moment before he answered. Because he erased my memories and brainwashed me into being devoted to him. Both Ochako and Hitoshi were shocked into silence for a moment, before Hitoshi managed to shake himself out of it. Okay then, well, I order you not to be devoted to All for One anymore, and to remember what he forced you to forget. Can you even do that? Ochako asked. Hitoshi took a deep breath. There's only one way to find out. He dropped his control, and they both dropped into fighting stance. But Kurogiri didn't fight them. Instead, the mist gradually receded until it was just covering the hair of his head, and he looked at them with bright yellow eyes that looked lost and a bit more panicked. Hi, my name is Obara Shirakuruma. Nice to meet you. Ochako glanced over to Hitoshi, who shrugged. I guess it worked. The ground shook, almost knocking the three of them over, and Shirakuruma gulped. He's here. Izuku stared at the screen in shock. Half of the school was gone. Before the ground started shaking, everything had been fine. Hitoshi and Uraraka had managed to catch Shirakumo. Dabi was fighting Todoroki, and the only villains still missing were Mineta and Spinner. Everything was fine. He sent some of the spider bots to destroy the areas. Since the cameras were obviously shot. Izuku felt a chill run down his spine as he watched a dark figure advance. He wasn't quite sure who he was, just that whatever was about to happen couldn't be good. He felt a chill run down his spine as May jumped up from his seat and rolled around. Stay right where you are, or I swear I will unleash all my babies on you. I won't even blink. Izuku jerked his head up to see one of Kurogiri's portals appearing right behind him. He only got more tense when Shinso stepped out, followed by someone they didn't recognize. The cat on Shigaraki's lap spat at the new incomer. Shigaraki had fallen to a fighting stance, same as May. Hitoshi held his hands. Whoa, guys, I can explain. It's just me. May eyed him suspiciously. And where's Ochako? She went to fight All Might. Hitoshi scowled. But we think his long-lost nemesis, who just knocked down our front door. Yep, That's Sensei, Shigaraki said. But who's this noob? I'm offended you don't recognize me, Tomura. It's me, Kirigiri. The new incomer frowned. Shirakuma. Sorry, I'm trying to undo a decade's worth of brainwashing, and it's, kind of causing problems. Shigaraki looked like his entire world had just flipped upside down, as Hitoshi confirmed. Shirakuma is planning on pulling a Dusty and switching sides now that I got rid of All for One's brainwashing, and got some of his memories back, so he's with us. Izuku glared at the two of them suspiciously. The League has someone who can change appearances. I need you to prove that it's you, Hitoshi. Oh, okay. Hitoshi frowned thoughtfully. She can't imitate quirks, just faces, Shigaraki said helpfully. So just brainwash his faker, and he'll tell me who he really is. 2 birds, 1 stone. The man who claimed to be Kirigiri looked mildly offended, but nodded. If that's what I have to do to prove my sincerity, then I'll do it. Hitoshi nodded. Are you sure? Shirakuma took a deep breath. Yes, I am. Hitoshi took control and winced. I'm kind of starting to reach my limit, buddy. But, tell me who you are. I am Uburo Shirakuma, also known as Kirigiri. Shinso dropped his control with a huff. There, is that good enough? Izuku nodded. Yeah. There was another crash, and Izuku ran back to his computer. All Might is here. Toshinori cursed himself for being so slow. If he was still at the height of his power, he could have gathered to UA near instantly, or at least have enough resilience to catch a ride with Uraraka after she had come to inform him about All for One's alliances attacking the school. But no, as it was, he had to preserve his strength, and he couldn't run faster than the eye could see. He had grown even weaker since the USJ incident, and especially since giving his quirk to young Uraraka. It didn't help that her consistent disappearings in association with the wall gremlins was quickly giving him gray hairs. All of that combined to say that he had been really hoping that All for One was as dead as he appeared 5 years ago. But unfortunately, that was clearly not the case. All for One knocked him down, though, another wall, and All Might spat another mouthful of blood as he forced himself to his feet. I will not let you hurt my students. Ironically, it's not actually one of your students I'm after. It's my own. All for One replied adamantly. Well, perhaps with the exception of your successor, but she's a slippery one. You stay away from her, Toshinori snarled. I won't have you hurting her like you hurt Master Shiruma. Funny you should mention your old mentor. All for One grinned widely. Have I ever mentioned Tomura Shigaraki's true identity? Well, he's an asshole, Shigaraki said. And here I thought he would have picked up anybody he thought he could manipulate. Izuku and Mei had managed to get some shaky audio from the few remaining cameras. But even with the poor quality audio, they could have heard a pin drop, as All for One declared the way he had hand-picked Shigaraki just because of his connection with One for All. Hitoshi snorted at Shigaraki's reaction. You just learned the guy who raised you basically only took you in to hurt All Might, and that's all you have to say? What, are you saying I'm wrong? Shigaraki asked offensively. And besides, he didn't do most of the work. His lackeys did, like Shira, whoever over there. If I'm allowed to put my 2 cents in, Shirakuma said dryly, may I just say that raising you was not easy. The room shook again as All Might launched forward, and the Triumphs started clashing again. The room is gonna come down soon, Mei frowned. Dusty Boy, disintegrate the ceiling. Portal Man, make sure the dust doesn't get into the computers. Dust, boy? Shigaraki belled. Just do it, Tomura, Shirokuma said tiredly. I'll make sure the debris doesn't fall on us from above. Destroy the room before it gets a chance to destroy us. Izuku nodded thoughtfully. Smart. Not an option for the other students, though. I'm gonna give the group chat a clue on how to get to the tunnels. There are 1 or 2 places that they can act as bomb shelters, so I'll go ahead and send them a map. They'll just have to get there before All Might and All for One destroy the entire school. Easy. There was a long moment of awkward silence, and they all shared matching grimaces as they realized how not easy that would be. Finally, Shirokuma cleared his throat. Maybe I can help. Unlike your friend Uraraka, I specialize in transporting large amounts of people at the same time. Not good, May said quickly. They won't trust you. They don't have to, Shirokuma said sheepishly. Not if I'm quick enough? Izuku blinked. So, you're suggesting kidnapping our classmates for their own good? Hitoshi smiled. Well, it won't be the first time you have done that. The room shook again, and a few things fell off the shelves. Izuku's expression hardened. Do it. Ochako knew she'd be safer inside instead of holding herself in midair above the school. But even though she knew Izuku probably had eyes on the fight, she couldn't bring herself to leave. In a way, this was her fight too. She was the next holder of One for All, therefore, All for One was her rival too. If All Might fell, she was the only one strong enough to pick up the fight. As if on cue, All for One launched another superpowered punch at All Might, who barely managed to hold his ground. The media was starting to warm, and Ochako noticed a few helicopters in the air with her. Come on, All Might, Ochako murmured. You can do this. Get up and fight him. All Might, however, wasn't nearly as strong as he had been. Ochako gasped as the dust and steam cleared to reveal All Might looking ragged and deflated in his smaller form. She could only imagine how the media would react, but she didn't have time to think on that, because the moment she saw All for One in danger, she was suddenly right in front of him. She released her quirk and landed in a crouch, slowly starting and doing her best to glare down All for One when he didn't have eyes. I think it's time we finally met, Ochako said, doing her best to keep her voice from shaking. I'm Ochako Uraraka, the 9th holder of All for One, and I'm here to take you down. It is hard, recording with a certain little kitty in my lap. Having Storm in my lap was certainly a struggle indeed. Very much, thank you. No, mainly because I was trying to record while also playing with Storm, because I didn't want to, just abandon him. Not abandon him, but just not give him attention. Because if I didn't give him attention, he would start meowing. And then, he ended up falling asleep, so that ended up working in my favor, because then I could focus completely on recording and stuff. So, on to my actual notes. Oh my god, we got Oboro. Oboro, I love Oboro. Oboro. I don't know why I love Oboro so much. He's quite legitimately a side character. We don't see him that much until until the later seasons, and even then we only get him a little bit. I think the most we get out of him is content from a side series, which is Vigilantes, which I have yet to read, by the way. I want to read it. I have yet to read it. I have yet to sit down and read it. But, I've seen little clippets of it, so I've been spoiled in some of the things and stuff like that. I know there's a ship between the main character of Vigilantes and, what's-his-face? Tensei. Have I read Vigilantes? No. Do I ship it? Yeah, I do. I have no recollection. I just feel like that dynamic would be funny. That would be funny. Also, imagine, Ida, right? Imagine him going home and, being like, brother, you know the rules. Why are you dating an ex-vigilante? And his brother being like, don't think about it. Just shh. Don't think about it. I don't know. I've also seen little ship edits on TikTok and stuff like that. And I don't know. The ship has grown on me. I know nothing about them, but the ship has grown on me. It has grown like a fungus. Maybe not like a fungus. What has grown like a fungus on me is motherfucking BKDK. I used to not ship it, right? I was a Totodeku and Kiribaku. But then BKDK came around and grew on me like a fungus. And I can't get rid of it. I can't get rid of it. And likely, I don't want to get rid of it. But yeah, that's what happened. As for kidnapping, I find that whole, so you want us to kidnap, the classes, for their safety? And Hitoshi being like, well, wouldn't be the first time. I love that. It gives a little bit of essence of humor, and I always love humor in tense moments. Humor plays a really great role in tense moments. Like, for example, in Mulan, the whole them singing that song before they go to war, all of that was humorous, lighthearted, and then you get hit with how dark things actually are. In this sense, things are already dark. And then you get it relieved just a tad bit with humor to, relieve the pressure a little bit, because sometimes too much pressure is bad. But you need to relieve the pressure just a tad bit so that, you see what you're looking forward to, Also, it's just, humor is the healer of the soul. No, go back to sleep. Go back to sleep, Storm. Anyways. I shook a little bit and accidentally woke up Storm, so back to playing with Storm with my left arm while I record with my right. Lovely. But as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.